What's up, everybody? It's time for another episode of Wild Pitches. He's Aris. I'm Mick. Let's get this thing started. What do you say, folks? Here we go. Got another episode coming your way, and this is really the toughest time of the year for us to get on the same page and do a show, just because you got so many things going on, right, in the world of Smokies baseball. But good to see you, Aris, and
great
good
to
see
see
all
you.
you guys.
You sound a little tired there, but
Yeah,
you've been
man,
doing
a lot of work. A lot of
of
work. Well, we're down here in Pensacola, so once in a while I'll bop home. So last night after the game, after the 3-0 shutout, so we got shut out twice. 5-0 and 2-0, and then we shut them out. Oh, it's them being Pensacola on their home turf, 3-0. So it's weird how baseball works like that. It's so even, like if you see the Twins, they won, what was it, 17 out of 20. Then they lost like 7 straight, because they're not a team that's that good, right? But they got hot. So then the percentages pull you back down, right? So for the Smokies, they're not as bad as they played over the weekend. Like they're a good team.
Those are two tough games. I mean, especially that Saturday game. Now, look at it like this. The first 5 innings went by, and I think about 40 minutes. It was crazy how quickly that game was going along. But that was because nobody was getting any hits. Nobody was getting on base. So glad to see them actually get back into the win column after those 2 games. It was pretty scary.
Yeah. No, I know. It was a great night, though. Another fast game. Our bullpen's really solid right now. I don't know how long it can stay, but, I think Cam Sanders has a chance to get to the big leagues this year. And I know he's going the wrong direction.
Cam Sanders is one of those guys that we saw in spring training, and he was, throwing gas. And I think you mentioned it just about like, wow, this guy's going to make it to the majors. And then we see him go back down to the Smokies. So what's the deal with that?
He's got to throw strikes. That's it. I mean, for him, it's not like he's got to do a whole lot of other stuff. He's just got to throw strikes. He's just got to consistently throw strikes. Can't walk batters. Got to trust his stuff. And I think that's where we are right now with him. And now he's come down here and he's throwing strikes. He's been dominant, so they need help at the big league level. Just kind of giving you an update on what's going on with the Cubs. They have 8 guys right now, pitching wise, that are, I think it's 8 guys on the IL. And that includes Drew Smiley, who is actually throwing now, and Daniel Palencia, who used to pitch for the Smokies, and he's throwing, and Jordan Wicks, who's in the starting rotation. I don't know if he'll start when he gets back. He's doing throwing programs, and they're saying he's going to do a rehab soon. Julian Merriweather, I don't know when he's going to throw again. We didn't have him. He was a guy that they picked up and then, kind of took to the pitch lab, and he was dominant last year. Great pitcher, but he's out of action. You just go through this.
Keegan Thompson, these are other guys that,
Yeah. Thompson's a viral illness. So, he sometime soon, I'm sure that he'll be, healthy. Alzolay, I'm wondering if he ends up with surgery. I mean, he's like, it's just something just didn't look right with him. After last year, he got injured at the end of the season, and then he, El Monte may be back already, but he's another guy. They just had a bunch of guys hurt, and you want your minor leaguers, the Cam Sanderses of the world, to be ready. Arneo Nunez, who was dominant for us, went to AAA. Some of these guys are going to break through, but you got to go up there at the big league level. And what's sad and good at the same time is that the Cubs traded Jake Slaughter. We loved Slaughter. Slaughter signed our Grateful Dead night poster for us. One of them. We did, to talk about those, but he signed those and was a great dude and great player, and got traded for Tyson Miller, who we had too. So the Cubs traded to get Miller back, and it's been Miller time up in the big leagues. He's gotten it done. And so, it's kind of weird, you trade one Smoky for another, but that just happened. And so Miller's been good in the bullpen. So it's been kind of fun seeing him back. And then, on our team, Zach Lee just got promoted. he had started really, becoming a very reliable pitcher.
Oh yeah.
So, with in the minor leagues, it's your best players are going to go up, and if it's pitching, it's going to go up fast. Cade Horton, we had him, and then he struggled in AAA. So, but I don't think he'll come back down. I just think he's making an adjustment to the next level.
And what do you think about Michael Arias? This is a guy that's been a prospect, and I think he's like number 11 in the Cubs organization. He started the season with the Smokies here, still with the Smokies. But the interesting thing about him is he's part of the 40-man with the Cubs. Do you see him getting called up anytime soon?
I was talking about him on my YouTube channel, the Cubs baseball channel, a few weeks ago. But then the more I saw him, the more I realized, like, he's not ready yet. Like, he's a position player that they converted into a pitcher. He's got a good arm. He's got all the makings of somebody that could go up there and do it. But there's just some inconsistencies. You can sometimes misses out over the plate. I don't think that it's there quite yet, but he could be a guy that gets there this year. I mean, it's not like he's got a long way to go to be a contributor. I like him. And when he comes into our games, I'm like, okay, you know what? He's got the potential to come up and really do some good stuff.
And it's so funny that you mentioned, at the top of the show about Eduardo Nunez. This is a dude that has played, not full seasons with the Smokies, but he entered his third season playing with the Smokies this year. And it seems like things finally clicked for the guy. 0 ERA through pretty much the middle of, through the end of April into May. So now up in AAA, how is he doing, and what do you suspect that he's going to be doing for the remainder of the year?
Say that again.
Eduardo Nunez.
Nunez. Okay. Sorry.
So now, this year it's finally clicked for the guy.
Yeah. So I think he's going to do. I think he's got the potential to go up soon. I mean, if he's able to continue what we saw at the Smokies up there, then it's not like the Cubs are really deep in that area, right? He throws hard. He's very effective. And you wonder if is he just hot, or is he kind of like turning the corner?
And what do you think about now recent transaction, how Porter Hodge and Luis Vasquez getting called up to?
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool. I'm constantly like just on Twitter, like, hey, what's the next move going to be made? And what happened was that Nico Horner basically had to start playing shortstop because Dansby Swanson went on the IL. And I kept wondering, like, okay, when are you going to call up Luis Vasquez? Because he's the second best shortstop, better than Nico, and just slightly under Dansby. And honestly, I think if he played every day, he could be just as good or better than Dansby defensively. Dansby brings a lot to the table with leadership and experience and all of that stuff. But you remember Vasquez. I mean, he can pick it as good as anyone. He's got great feet. He's balance, strong arm. He does it all. And so I kept looking, and they never made a move. Like, they just didn't do it. And so Nico starts playing shortstop, and then a couple games in, now he's got a hamstring issue, and they didn't put him on the IL. But what are they going to do, right? So it goes on and on and on, like a week, and now they've got Miles Mastrobuoni and Nick Magical playing middle infield instead of nickel and dime, which is Nico and Dansby. They're Gold Glovers, right? And they start losing. And so yesterday they finally got back their Gold Glove middle infield. But on Monday for Tuesday, they bring up Vasquez. So he hasn't made his debut, but he's on the roster. But his mom's the reason that we all knew about it. She told, somebody in the press found out in the Latino press, and I jumped on it from Twitter right away. I'm like, breaking news, So that one was fun, and I think he deserves it. It's going to be fun to see when Cubs fans realize how good he is, how exciting he is at shortstop, and also gives them some depth in that spot. Now, the bad part was that they sent Pete Crow Armstrong down.
Right.
And I hate it for Hollywood because he was a contributor. He's definitely one of the best 26 players the Cubs have, but he's got options. They're going to have to make some decisions on some of these guys. The Nick Magicals of the world they're going to end up being designated for assignment or traded or something, because they're just not going to have. There's just not enough room when you got young players that bring speed and defense. And need that experience or compared to a player that, he's kind of on the back slope of a career already. That's the tough part about the way that the roster works with options. Options mean you can go down to the minor leagues or not. Some guys that they've gone to the minor leagues enough, after like 3 years of doing that, you're not allowed to do that anymore. So if you're not on the 26-man roster, you have to basically designate them for assignment. And if another team wants them, then they can get them with a trade through the first 10 days, and then they can decide whether they want to go to the minor leagues or be a free agent, right? So that's in a nutshell what we're looking at. And then so that's exciting stuff, man. I mean, just anytime that you have these guys get into the big leagues for the first time, it's very cool. And Porter Hodge, he was on the 40-man roster and all these injuries. He's got to be more consistent to me. He's got great stuff, but I just worry about him, start appearance after appearance. I mean, he can be dominant, and then other times he's kind of, to me, like the slider and the fastball are great one night, and then the next day, like, can't throw a strike, so.
There's got to be something out there that somebody really likes about him. Somebody's enamored by him because, as you said, he wasn't here, shutting everybody out every single game. But he had great performances, and other times he didn't. So, there's got to be something that somebody really likes about Porter Hodge.
Well, 97 with movement and the slider is like a really good, strikeout slider. I mean, he's got the stuff. And I think they look at that, like, how's that going to play long term? And look at Luke Little. I mean, they caught him up to the big leagues probably sooner than I would have thought, because he couldn't throw strikes consistently, and that experience has helped him. I mean, he was on the roster, and then he got sent back down, and then he's back up there now. It's all about learning how to be consistent. Going back to Cam Sanders, you got to throw strikes. That's it. Some of these guys have amazing stuff, but it's not effective. It doesn't matter how hard you throw if you're not throwing strikes.
Luke Little just got his first win of his major league career.
Yeah, it's one of his best games. Came in, some men on base, got the Cubs out of it.
And there you have it. That's the update with the Smokies, and about a game and a half, 2 games and a half behind Birmingham right now in the first half. And currently in Pensacola. Is there a lot of bad blood down there for those Blue Wahoo fans seeing the Smokies come into town?
No. They because they got the first one, right? And I wore my ring yesterday. I got my ring shirt on now. Yeah. Boom. I'm just so proud of our ring. I mean, like, Tim Volk did an amazing job of putting the ring together. And making the ring and what it means when you wear it. People want to take pictures with it. It's honestly, it could not be put together and done any better than the way that they did it. And I wore it because I wanted to see their ring, now that I can kind of say, well, we got one, here's the 2 rings, so that was fun yesterday. And I don't know if I might not wear it today, but the thing about it's so big, like, I just don't. And it's the same thing with the Cubs World Series ring. You just don't want anything to go mess up on them. I got mine and 2 diamonds were missing, and I had to send it back. And then I got it back, and it looked great. And then wearing it a couple times, like, the bottom of it, just gets kind of, like, just from touching stuff.
Yeah.
Grabbing things. Yeah, right. But yeah, so we got a big week, man. This is
your weekend. This is your weekend coming up.
Yeah, I can't wait. Really, I can't. The exciting part of the season is finally here, where you got fireworks after the big nights. But I've become really good buddies with David Lee. actually came in studio and did a show with us here when he was in town. And just he's such an interesting guy, but he's just brought so much credibility to our Elvis night. It's like you just can't really explain the aura that he brings basically being Elvis and being the best, one of the best in the entire world. I don't know how you could do it any better than
That's
David
why
Lee.
he's ultimate Elvis.
Yeah, right. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like he gets on stage and it's like, man, it's just so entertaining.
It's
He
legit.
Yeah, he did a concert here with the guy that won the Ultimate Elvis last year. And they were both great, but David was just, you can just tell, man, like it's really no wonder he placed all those times and then won. He just there's just something about him. What I like about him so much is that not only can he sing and dance and he knows all the moves and everything, but he's just so funny. Like he's just got that, that sense of humor. Like he's not afraid to bring someone up on stage with him. He's not afraid to make fun of you and make fun of himself. But he's like legitimately an Elvis fan. Like he could tell you people that are in the Elvis, they know so much about him. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Like they just do. Like they're just so into Elvis that they'll tell you, "Hey man, here's what he did here, here's how he did this." So that's Friday night, June is
May
that June
31st.
May 31st.
Final day of May. So
May 31st. So May
that's why I
31st.
got, the sideburns going.
Yeah, man. This is great. So they look good, man. I saw you when you came on, and I was like, I was like, oh, Johnny Cash, and then you said Elvis. I'm like, oh, Elvis. Like that was the look back then for certain guys.
Trying my best. We're shooting a video today at our sponsor, Hard Rock Cafe. Hard
Nice.
Rock Cafe is bringing our Elvis night to fruition this season. So we're filming a video in Pigeon Forge, and I will dress the part as Elvis in the video. So be on the lookout for that coming out in a couple of days. So.
Great sponsor for this too, man. That is
yeah.
So that's so Friday's the 31st. Yeah. It's gonna be a great night, man. Is he doing? I mean, I got to ask you this because we're just kind of doing this raw. I don't have like notes in front of me, guys. But is he doing before and after, or is he just doing after concert? Do you know that?
Just after. So when the gates open up at 6:00 on Friday, we're gonna have different Elvis impersonators in attendance, and they're gonna be wearing the different eras of Elvis. We'll have Army Elvis, we'll have Blue Hawaii Elvis, the black leather Elvis, and all of that. And then we'll play a great baseball game here at Smokies Stadium where 2 lucky fans are going to end up with a VIP experience to Graceland. 18 or over, coming over to the game, and we'll give you a slip. And before you know it, 1 lucky fan is going to win 2 tickets to Graceland, where we give you the VIP experience, the tour there, as well as a night stay at the Graceland Resort. So it's fantastic. Man. And then after the game, we have an Elvis-themed fireworks show, and then Ultimate Elvis hits the stage. So all that is complimentary with a ticket to the game.
See, one of those games you wish it would be like a 2-hour game. Just get straight to Elvis,
Yeah, for sure.
That's going to be so much fun, man. Like you always do like Elvis t-shirts, Smokies Elvis t-shirts. They're always cool. The goatees guys kill it on that stuff. And then if you love Elvis, I mean, I don't know what the new stadium's going to be like. I think it's going to be great. Right. But this stadium, it always has just such a fantastic feel for these kind of events. And what's going to be cool about the new stadium is that it's designed to have spots for this stuff, where we just kind of make it work at Smokies Stadium. But when I tell people about us, I'm like, there's an ambiance that we're able to, that's just there at that stadium that you couldn't ask for better, right? And nights like that, when you come in and you just get that Elvis vibe, and people are taking, selfies with the different Elvises, and just having fun, man. Like we're laid back, compared to some of the other places, right? We're just a laid back crew. The prices are great at our ballpark, and Elvis night is going to be, the final Elvis night at Smokies Stadium is going to be one of those nights you're not going to want to miss. But I think you're going to want to be at the stadium all week because
Yeah.
because
Yeah. I mean,
then
this is quite the homestand. This is our only time this year we're playing 12 home games in 13 days, kicking off,
yeah.
next Tuesday. And that's our opening Friday night game. And then the following night, well, guess what? We have another concert taking place at Smokies Stadium. Back again, the Stolen Faces, and Mick will tell you all about who they are.
Yeah, look, guys. I mean, they've come now. They've been a part of this every year we've done it. The Stolen Faces are from Nashville. They perform the Dead. They're Grateful Dead tribute band, and they're just like David Lee. They're one of the best in the South. They play all around, and they have a great reputation for the way that they're able to perform. But Christian, the guy that's the lead singer, maybe we could get him to jump on with us. He's been doing it for a long time. And to give you an idea, I mean, I'm guessing old now. His son was a little tiny kid the first time that we had the Dead Night, like just a little kid playing drums, in the band. This was like 2015. That guy's graduated from college. He's like a professional musician now. Like he went through school, and now he's going to be, he's with the band too. It's just so funny that like how you forge these relationships with people, doing this stuff. But they'll perform before and after the game. And one year they let me do the set list, and that was awesome. As a deadhead, like I'm like, I get to make the set list. And I took it so seriously. Like I just kept thinking like, okay, how am I going to reel in everyone after the fireworks? Like what's the first song I want these guys to sing? And
that's really cool. And the thing is, like, for those that don't know, like the Grateful Dead, their songs are a lot different than your typical songs. These aren't 3 to 4 minute songs.
Yeah.
These are ballads. These are very long songs. So, you pick less songs, but it has to mean more because of it. Right.
Yeah. Right. No, exactly. And there's different era of Dead, and so the early stuff was more like country and Western jammy, and then you have like the the 70s disco type sound, like Shakedown Street and stuff like that. Slipknot, Help on the Way, Franklin's Tower, which I love, and China Cat. And I mean, like I'll tell you, like every time I hear these guys, I mean, I just go, man, they're so good, and I see them at the ballpark, but when they're around during the off season, I'll go and watch their concerts too. And it's fantastic. I mean, you're talking about, for me, I'm going to to Vegas to watch Dead and Company at the Spear for 3 nights in July, because you can't just go one night because there's so many songs you will miss something, like, so I would go every day if I could. Obviously I can't because I got a job, and then really got like 5 of them, but I mean, I'm like, look, I've got to take a time out. Now all like the videos from the Spear, have you seen these? They're like being like leaked out on Instagram, and it's incredible. So we're trying to create that vibe at the ballpark. We've done it. And for Deadheads, like, we do the poster. I'm in the middle. I haven't seen the poster yet, so I can't tell you guys what it looks like, but I'm supposed to get the proof today. I'm like, fingers crossed that this thing's awesome, because we don't have a lot of time, but we've used the exact artists that that band, that the actual Dead and Company use. Like they have rotating artists that for different shows will do posters, right? So we've done the same thing over the years. The guy Gig Art out in California made that first poster, which was the best one. Everybody loves that, with the skeleton on the bat, and then last year Nate Duvall did that poster, and I think it's great too. It's just a different thing. It's black and it's kind of a kaleidoscope, and so this year, the theme is, I wanted it to be, and we'll see how it turns out, but I wanted it to be kind of like a Lou Gehrig, Luckiest Man on the Earth vibe with the stadium and stuff. So that's kind of where we're at, and this thing's coming so fast, man. I'm like,
Yeah, it's right around the corner. We have the posters that we have to look forward to, and then the big thing is our players get to wear specialty jerseys that night that fit around the Grateful Dead theme. And just as you said, we've had different styles over the past couple seasons. So 2 years ago, we had the jersey centered around the Dancing Bears. Last year, we had it centered around Bertha. And then this year, we're partnering once again with our friends at Remote Area Medical. So these jerseys are auctioned off to benefit a great cause with Remote Area Medical. Those are veterans that are suffering, from dental problems and everything like that. So, it goes towards a great cause, and you get, at the end of the day, a really cool jersey that also, is worn by maybe your favorite Smokies player or Cubs prospect. And making its debut, because they just came in today. So we're getting a live reaction. So if you're listening to this, just listening, you want to switch over to YouTube and watch the video here to get Mick's live reaction of the jerseys that have just come in. Move this out of the way.
Like Lindsay, she's great. She does such an awesome job. She's one of my favorite people at work. Oh yeah, dude, that looks so good, man. So is that button down? So it is a button down. Yeah, it's great. So it's got the Steely on there, the TS logo. Like, how about the fire, man? For Fire on the Mountain, the song. Let me see the sleeves. I see we got some cool logos on the sleeves too. Yeah, that's the best. I think that might be the best one we've done, man, honestly. I mean, and we've got some great ones, but that I don't know how close to perfect that is, but man, that is so good, dude. Look at that. Look at that. Steely with the bear head in the middle, just kind of floating around in there. I love the colors. Yeah, that's great, man. God, that's so cool.
I think
see the front again.
The type font that we've used this year, like, I just love the looks of the S's and the curves and all of that. Looks really good.
Yeah. For your last year too, like, just you kill it, like, finish up strong. And I'm really proud of that. I think she did a great job. You did a great job. Everybody did. Those are going to go fast. You can bid on those too. They're not going to be around long.
Yeah, we're going to start bidding on Thursday evening. So I think it's Thursday at 5:00. Not tomorrow, but next Thursday. And, it's going to be up for a 48-hour auction. So it ends on Saturday the 1st at 8:30 p.m.
I might be wearing that one to one of the shows out at the Spear.
Yeah,
I've worn them the other ones I've worn at shows, and people will find me, and then they're like, Mac, I'm like, how do they know it's me? Oh, I'm wearing my jersey. It's so cool. And then the other thing, which is great, is that I'll meet people at the different shows, tell them about our show, our day, and Deadheads. I mean, seriously, like, they'll show up and be there for it, so it's just such a big, awesome community, and I'm really excited, man. That thing looks great, dude. That is great. And then if that's not enough for you, next weekend we got Jimmy Buffett night, and I'm cooking up something special for that too. We don't want to talk about it now. We got to have something to talk about next week. But cooking up something special for you guys.
Famous Mick interpretive dance that takes place before the game. We've hinted on it the past couple of episodes and everything, so it's almost coming into fruition. But let's not jump the gun yet. We have time to really dedicate to that on next week's show.
I've got to get. What I got to do is I've got to go back and remix the montage for this year.
Maybe you should. Yeah,
I think that's what I'm gonna do. But you can't beat, like, fins and volcano. You've seen the dance so many times. Like, it's like we the funny part is that we practiced last year, guys. We do this dance
for the first time ever,
right? For the first time ever, we practice. We do this dance. It's supposed to be bad, and it is. But we were like, hey, what if we just came and blew it out of the water? So we practiced, and we had it perfect. And then I couldn't hear the music right because it's so much louder with everybody in there. So I got off rhythm and ruined it for everybody. But it was so bad that it was good. But the people in the stands are like, they got their drinks, their cheeseburgers, they're watching the game, and then they're like, all right, what are we watching here? Nobody cheers when we're done. And that's the best part about it. We're rocking off like we just killed it. We had Richie last year come out of the stands. We had a couple guys that were acting like players. So I've got some ideas for this year.
Looking forward to it. Well, that's a great place to cap it off right there, folks. Be sure to join us, Smokies Stadium. We have 12 games in 13 days, starting next Tuesday, the 28th, and plenty of great theme nights and giveaways on tap for those games. And if you haven't been out to the ballpark yet, what are you waiting for? Come see myself, Mick, and the rest of the crew here at Smokies Stadium.
Yeah, guys, come see us. Well, that's a wrap for today, but we'll talk to you guys again next week. Go Smokies.